Hello, everyone. I wanted to quickly hop on and share with you a little bit of information about the vagus nerve. Now, you may have never heard of this word before, and I don't blame you. It's not something that is taught often, and it's something that I believe is nature's best kept secret. Now, the Latin word for vagus, or the word vagus, not vagus nerve, the Latin word for vagus means wandering. So what the vagus nerve is in our body is a connection of nerves, basically at the base of our neck, all the way through the center of our body. And they have neural pathways that carry information to and from the brain. So in other words, it's pretty important. Now, we're living in a world that is full of stress. We have external triggers. Some of the stresses in our lives are controlled, and some of it is a little bit outside our control. So what I want to do is to give you a bit of information and hopefully some tips that are going to help you navigate through your days, which are going to help you de-stress and calm your nervous system in particular. Now, the reason that the vagus nerve is so important and why I want you to start working on your vagus nerve is because it acts like the body's email system. Now, I don't know how people did business before emails or how the world functioned, because for me, emails are the next best thing to functioning in this world today. And basically, why the vagus nerve is like the email's body system is because there's incoming information through our environment, and then there's outgoing information based on that information that comes in. So in the same way you send an email, the person that receives it is then they have to respond. They can delete it, they can action it, they can buy something. Like, how many times have you clicked on a link in an email and purchased a product because something was on sale, or finally the thing that you wanted landed in your inbox? Well, that's the same thing that happens within our bodies. Now, the way that our vagus nerve receives information is from our senses, okay? So we've got things we see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. So if you are constantly exposing your senses to negative things, then these are going to send signals. The vagus nerve is going to send negative signals to the brain and basically say, oh, we're under threat. We need to do something about this. And so what happens? Triggers start to be sent out from the brain, and they are connected. The vagus nerve is connected to most body systems. It's the one part of the body that basically connects everything else together. Now, when you get stressed, the vagus nerve sends signals to the brain, basically saying we're under threat, with a big subject heading in capital, bold, red letters. And what happens? The brain then starts to change things within the body. This may look like sweating, heart palpitations, gut health problems. Gut health is always the number one sign because they call the gut the second brain in the body. So what's important on your part is to recognize when the vagus nerve is not behaving properly, and then you want to learn how to read what the body has to say, because everything is connected. Now, one of the biggest vagus nerves in the body is what we call the trigeminal nerve, and that is in the head and the face. And it's the way that we stimulate the vagus nerve in the face is through our facial expressions. I think it is said up to 70% of our muscles are in our face. And so we want to be using them for positive things, to enhance things. Now, when we smile based on a sensory trigger around us, because maybe someone else smiled at you, or maybe you're looking up and seeing the beautiful full moon, or maybe there's a beautiful sunset, you can't help but smile. On the other hand, if you raise your brows because something isn't quite right, something's got you curious, then that's another trigger within the vagus nerve that's sending signals to the brain. And then on the other extreme, if you are frowning and sad, then that's another trigger that is sending to the brain. And then the brain starts releasing hormones that match up what the facial expression is. So what we want to do is we want to start to calm down, the vagus nerve in order to help our central nervous system. Now, this is a lot of work that I've been doing personally in my life to help me with some of the bigger expansive states that I've been entering. This year, we got married, we moved into our dream home, I'm expanding my business, and I would consider these to be 3 big things to happen in a short amount of time. So one method for you to stimulate your vagus nerve is something we call the auricular nerve, which is based in the ear. So what you do, and this is really relaxing, and if you've ever had a massage and the person happens to massage your ears, you know how relaxing it is. So what you want to do is spend 5 minutes every morning. This is best done in the morning because it helps regulate your day, is to start at the top of the ear, get your 2 fingers, your thumb and your index finger, and you want to basically make slow circles from the top of the ear all the way down the ear, the outside of the ear. And by stimulating it, and then once you get to the bottom of the ear, you want to go back up to the top and keep doing this. If you ever have anyone in your life that's stressed, but just by doing this, it calms them down instantly. The other day I did this to Nick and he's like, oh, that feels really good. Keep going. Just because it was like a stressful day dealing with builders and external things that, we couldn't control in our environment. So that's one way to help stimulate the vagus nerve. The next way, and I love this one, is to lay down flat on your back. In bed would be ideal, yoga or yoga mat. And you want to look up. And then what you want to do is you want to get both eyes for 30 seconds looking in one direction. So I'm just looking to the right side for 30 seconds. Yep. And then you want to change it over and then look to the left side for 30 seconds. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's the 1-minute hack that's going to change your day. Now, the third way, and if you've ever had an animal reading with me or an intuitive alignment reading with me, you may have noticed me doing something funny where I tap on my chest. So because the vagus nerve runs down the center of our bodies, I actually tap on my chest because it helps me connect to my 6th sense, my intuitive abilities. And this, every time I do this, I'm able to see, receive, and know information from your animals, and then I pass that information on to you. So if you ever find yourself in a stressful situation where you notice your senses are going into haywire based on the environment around you, then what I want you to do is literally 7 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right in the middle of your sternum, just above. If you're a woman, your cleavage. If you're a man, right in the middle of your pecs. Tap 7 times. I do it now without even counting. And that helps to immediately, it's like you're sending your vagus nerve a message that, hey, you're okay. There's nothing here that's harmful. There's nothing here that's out of the ordinary, and that you are in control. Now, all of this is connected to trauma. As a collective, we have experienced collective trauma, experiencing lockdown for the past 2 years. And then on top of that, you've got family trauma, maybe some financial trauma, and then maybe some more specific and personalized trauma in your life. All of the trauma is triggered through our sensory organs. And so our body goes into autopilot. And what I have learned is some tricks and some tools for recalibrating it, and to help us deactivate the autopilot and to activate our higher order system. So if you are interested in learning more, let me know, because I have plenty more of these tools, and these are some of the things that I work with my one-on-one clients. If you learned something new today, let me know below, and lots of love. Mwah! Happy vagus nerve stimulating.